Really? Hello, everybody. Welcome back, Space Engineers. This is done. Yay! All right, moving on. Next. Okay. I've done some work again. I cleaned him up. His back end was all messy. He had all these extra little holes in him. I got rid of them. And yeah, we're just down to just the connector. And I think there's still sensors behind these blocks that I was going to try to make use of that I never did. So for now, they're just spares. And I think one of them actually broke off when he was inside the bay. Like, I saw explosions and one flew away. But I don't know where he lost it from, so meh. And maybe the blueprint put it back. Who knows? So anyway, he's all cleaned up. Oh, we got Chip here, who's all repaired. He's got his other arm back. It's very nice. We got Tortwig, who also got repaired. So his new reactors are in place and fully functional. I also smashed him somehow. I think in the machine as well while I was working on it. And he lost like his whole side. And his conveyor tube. He did not lose his cargo, which was nice. But he was put back together again. So everything's working quite well. I actually went and redid most of what I'd already done. Since I kind of had a grasp of the order of operations of how things were supposed to operate, I figured it'd be best just to start all over again. Plus, I did go ahead and add in a third piston here. So this has some extra reach. And in doing so, I had to remove some sensors that used to be there and the connector. So I had to put in some new parts and then add them back in anyway. So I figured it was easier just to start from scratch. I also tried to figure out some ways to overcome some of the stuff I didn't like that was happening in this thing. So the safeties on this guy I changed so they don't do the little wiggle thing anymore. I think I've made it so this door can't be toggled in the wrong direction. So there's things I don't like. Let's go ahead and do what we did last time. So sensors, I kind of renamed things as well. So let's just turn all these show on HUD. Most of them should be off right now. So we shouldn't see their fields, and we don't. So the only one that we should see a field for is this guy, which I don't even see him. Where are you? Stage 1. Oh, right. I forgot. I forgot the basics. Okay, so that one's not supposed to be on yet, but it is on. So this is the molar height detection, and that one works. We'll bring Tortwig in first. So the new way this works is very similar to the old way. You don't have to be as far back though, but there is a second sensor that gets triggered as soon as you touch down. So there's one sensor that's the size of basically the landing gear. So when you're on there, it'll trigger a second one. And if you are far enough back, it should, yeah, if you're in that second field, which we are, after a little bit of a pause, it'll start going. I had to do that little pause for one reason. If you turn a sensor on, and the item you're trying to detect is already in the field, like when we touch down there, that sensor turns on, we're already in the field, it doesn't get triggered. So the only way I could trigger it was to toggle its detection on and off. So that's what I do with the timer block. And that's why there's a little bit of a delay. But otherwise, everything works the way it should. The door, I think, should close. And I moved the sensor for the door. Essentially, the sensor only occupies the space that the door occupies. So there shouldn't be any issues. Because when Molar was in there, he was actually triggering it because he's a little longer. So that wasn't working out. So the way the safeties work... Aha! I'm live. Okay. So we still have a player of safety, so that protects me. If I go ahead and open this door... let's see how... RB... Piston... Bay door... Bottom... Where's the group? Well, fine. Reverse. Okay. I'll leave you open. And let's grab Chip. Maybe we can demonstrate with him. Because he's a small ship. Okay. So what this does... So the same thing as before. That first field turns off the pistons. So they no longer are retracting. And the second one will send them back. But now it does it with a bit of a delay. and a bit more of certainty, so it shouldn't be able to go the wrong way. So there you go, I entered that field. It turns off its sensors so that it can't get another, like, signal. So once it's done that, it's not going to do it again until it's finished. And all it does is it backs away for a couple seconds and then reinitializes itself and resets velocity and comes back, and we'll find the ship again. So if you do enter it or bump it or move towards it, it should just keep getting out of your way. Oh, I guess if the sensor's on or gets turned on when you're in the field, I guess it doesn't really work. So there's that. There's still a possibility for it to fail, I guess. But yeah, for the most part, that works well. I think I've figured out a way, so yeah, like the door will always open when I tell it to, or always close when I tell it to. So the thing I hate about these timer blocks so far, that's more just a limitation that I assume we'll get better access to. Let's just go RB. Okay. So I redid all of them. So now we got timer block stage 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all in nice order. And this is how everything goes down. But for the bay door, I have a couple timers here. So this is the bay door closer. So if I want to close the door, I activate this timer instead of activating the pistons directly. And all it does is turn on the piston in case it's off, because we're going to have some safeties in place to turn off the piston if it's going to, like, crush a ship or something. And then it's going to reset velocity, I think. Yeah, reset velocity. Because in this case, you didn't hear that. In this case, depending on the position of a piston, right? So far, I only know of one way to, for sure, get, like, a piston to move in the direction you want it to, is if you give it a reset velocity. So no matter which way it's set, if you give it that, it's going to try to retract at negative 0.5 meters per second or whatever it is. So the only limitation is you're kind of stuck at that speed. So all of our pistons are pretty much going at that speed because I do make use of the reset velocity now. So if I want this thing to close, all I have to do is make sure the pistons are on and give it a reset velocity and it's going to close, right? But if I want to open it, I have to do a bit more. So if I want to guarantee that those pistons will open, no matter what condition it's already in, so even if they're already open, like they are now, if I go to here, I have bay door pre-open and bay door open. So first we give it this, and what it does is it turns off the piston so that it can't move, and it resets its velocity. So now we know it's in one direction, it wants to retract. And then we trigger the next timer block with a delay, just 1 second. And it turns that piston back on and reverses direction. So since we knew it was retracting, when we reverse it, it's going to extend. So basically, if I give this and trigger it, the piston, this thing should not change. It tries to. You can almost see it move for a second. But I'm giving both commands at the same time, the reset and the turn off, so it doesn't get to go anywhere. So there we can guarantee that if I give that command, it's going to open, and I can guarantee if I give it the other command, it will close. So let's do that. Where's the bay door? Close. Trigger now, and it will close. You can also see a timer block blinking. So he will only stay in there for like 5 minutes, I think I have it set for. 10 minutes? After 10 minutes, it will automatically open the door and reset everything and unlock the ship so that you're free to fly out. So if you leave a ship in there forever, it won't just sit there forever. It will eventually just time itself out. So stage 6 is basically the last one, and that's the one that gets us out, if we remember stage 5 and stage 6. And I've gone ahead and put like automatic or manual, I guess I didn't do it for that one. So here, auto, that just means it gets triggered automatically. We don't have to do any intervention whatsoever. Where stage 5, we have to manually, or we can manually intervene if we want to get out quicker. And then, what's these ones? Timer block, array, I think those are spares. Yeah, so we have spare 7 and 8. And then here we get to welder safeties. So these are pretty much exactly like this door, essentially the same concept, where it will turn it on and like, this is what, reversing. So that's probably, I don't know how these are set up anymore actually. But they're pretty much set up the same way. I'll reset velocity, I'll turn off the piston, I'll reset velocity so I know what state it's in, and then I'll either leave it at that, or if I want to reverse it, then I can reverse it from there. So I can kind of guarantee which way the piston will go which gives us a little bit more control and less likely that things will go the wrong way and crush something and destroy it. So yeah, I don't want to go too much over this because it's probably getting boring at this point, but let's go ahead and get Torchwing out of there, and I'll just show you the molar height, and then we'll move on to something else. Ooh, went in a little bit hot there. Took me out. So I still just have this guy on here. Bam. So that should turn on the sensor for the door, as well as open the door, which we can see. And now there's a sensor there, so it's going to detect when I go out. One thing I wanted to change, actually, on that sensor, so the bay door closer. Currently, I just have it when you leave the field, it triggers the door to close, right? What I was thinking of doing is maybe when you are in the field, it triggers the doors to shut off, or maybe to open. That might be a good idea, even though it's already open. Let's try that, actually. So let's find our timers. So if I just search RB, this should find everything that's related to the repair bay. So let's see, door opener, pre-opener, right there. So if I trigger this when we go in, it doesn't matter, the door's already open. Assuming it doesn't, like, turn off the field. So it's going to try to open as long as we're in here, theoretically. And then when we leave, it should close. Cool. Okay, I think that worked. Alright, so yeah, let's get Molar in there. He's a little tricky, because he's remote control. You're terrible. You need a cockpit, you guy. Okay, remote. I did one thing, though. I added in another camera. So we have this guy. We fly in. Yeah, that sensor up top is supposed to be turned on and off. The way I'm controlling things right now is basically by shutting sensors down right after we use them. So once we detect something with it, whatever that triggers, it also turns off the sensor that triggered it. So it's like a one-time event until the system resets itself. So what that means is if there is a ship in here, we shouldn't be able to trigger it again. Okay, so I have a rear camera and I have a down camera. So this one's handy for parking here. So you can just look down and let me just fly down. Now he's a little tricky because he can be off by quite a bit. But there we go. And once we see those shut off, we know it's moving. There it goes. And once he hits that, it should prevent him from rising any higher. It did. You can see he kind of stopped right there. It's got Molar there. There's like sensors and everything on the other screen. And in he goes. Yeah, this is the point where this one's supposed to shut off. So maybe we'll fix that really quickly. So I'm pretty sure I have it set to turn on, just not turn off. Okay, so let's see here. And he's going in there, he's rotating, all is well. And life is good. Yay! Okay, so one last thing, RB. So molar height detection, it's a sensor. Molar height, there you are. Okay, so we want timers though. So stage 1 simply turns on that second sensor, the one that detects how far back you are on the landing pad. And it does a clock, basically. A landing pad clock, trigger now. That landing pad trigger now. What that does is it triggers itself, or it starts itself, so it does a timer. And it toggles detect small ships. So every second it turns that detect small ship on and off. On, off, on, off. So once it turns it back on, and there's a ship in there, it will trigger basically stage 2. So sensor stage 2, when it triggers, it triggers stage 2 of the timer block. This is probably just going to be way too complex or complicated to follow. And then that's where everything kind of starts to happen. So let's find what we need. So here you see I turn off stage 1 and stage 2 sensors. I lock the landing gear. I turn on this piston and reverse it, the landing pad. So this one's not guaranteed if it wasn't reset previously. And then the connector as well. So we don't need it to do it there. We need it to the next stage. So when everything's being pulled in. So when it locks. So yeah, we'll add it on to here. Yeah, here it is. Molar height detection. Detect enemy. Oh, there we go. It's set incorrectly. Detect enemy on and off. That is not what we want. We want toggle off. Okay. That should fix him. And are you detecting enemy? Not that that really matters. No, you're good. Okay. So there we go. And I don't think Molar has a way to get out, to be honest. But if I hit stage 5, that will let him out. And we can fly him free once he gets disconnected. Come on, Molar. There you are. And I think I have to give it a bit more time before the unlock, because I don't think he's completely rotated. But there we go. It works for all ships. And I'm, for the most part, pleased with it. It's got some, probably still some tweaking to do, and maybe some bells and whistles to add on still. Okay, it didn't turn this off. Damn it. Okay, stage... RB... Okay, it's stage 5 or stage 6. Doesn't really matter which. Well, I turned it off. I guess I just have it... Did we ever turn it off? Maybe I'm confused. Molar height detection should be off right now, but I think it's just because I didn't turn it off after we did the whole thing. So as long as it turns itself back on, I guess. So let's just check that real quick. Where's Tortwing? Behind me? He's behind me, isn't he? Alright, Tortwing, show us what you got. Get in the bay one last time. So it should be a little more easy to get landing. You don't have to give it too much thought. Just as long as you land in the center, you should be good to go. Someone mentioned putting like a control panel, and we could use buttons and stuff to determine which ship goes in. That's not a bad idea. I kind of like that. We probably don't need it to determine which ship, but we could probably add it to give other functionality. Like we could tell it to cancel if it's going up and we don't want it to go up or something. Or we could tell it to close the door or open the door if we want to look inside, stuff like that. Or unlock the landing pad thing. So yeah, maybe we'll put a control panel either right in front. Because if you're landing, you're not going to be hitting it. And even if we had like a really wide ship, we wouldn't hit it. Where if we put one like over here, we'd probably hit it. Or we could hit it with a ship. There's probably less likely. Okay, wow, we really got to turn off those sensors. Sensors, RB. Off screen, HUD please. And then if we look here, he's off. Shoot, I didn't check to see if he was on. The whole purpose of the test. Man. Okay. Sure. What's on your bar? Do you have a way out of here? You need a way out of here. RB. Okay. Whoa, what just happened? Why am I in Molar all of a sudden? What? Didn't I go in Tortwing? What is going on? That was confusing. Weird. That was really weird. I don't know how I did that. Or maybe it was just third... No, I don't know. Anyway, you guys probably know what happened. I'm oblivious. Alright, RB. Stage 5. Manual. Trigger now. Let me out of here. Door opens. Tortwing exits. He seems to rotate quick enough. It would also help if you, like, turn off your dampeners. And we could probably go as far as doing that automatically, too. Well, at least once we're connected. We could turn it back on, maybe. If you can control it once you're connected. Anyway. Get out of my way, me. Let's weld this. But today... Wow, we don't have much time left. Sorry. If you guys are sick of this thing, we'll leave it be for a while. I think it's kind of working now that I can just use it. I'm not happy about. I don't have to worry about it failing every time. I'm fairly confident that it should work reliably, as long as I don't try to do anything stupid with it. But I like the idea of having that here. At least to unlock us if we accidentally lock, and maybe a button to reset. So I'll probably set something up that will just reset everything to its proper state, turn off all the sensors, etc. Except for the one, and make sure everything's in its proper state to function for the next go. Alright, good. Pick me up, me. Whoop. Thank you. Alright, today I want to extend the bottom. Quickly, if we can. Whee! 360, almost. Alright. Yeah, I want to break this. Ooh. So what do we got to do? We got to go get our tugger. Man, I want a new tugger. This tugger is subpar. You could be so much better. We will improve you. Okay, I got both batteries charged up. I had to manually intervene. Does that do it? I don't remember how I set this up. Oh, it's a merge. Oops. That's not right. Batteries. Recharge. Yeah, I guess we'll just do that. Medical merge repair bay. Okay, that was just for that one-time thing. Okay, so the batteries, what are you doing? You are on recharge. Oh, I want to take you off recharge. Now we're good? Now we're good. And the reactor's off, so we're good. We're just using the batteries, and we're only using 21%, 30, 34. Not bad. Good. More than enough. Alright, so I think I put a merge block already over here, because I was planning on doing this earlier. There it is. And it's in the sun, so we could be getting some power from there. Alright. We have one docking assist. We can try to level ourselves. In third person, I guess, would probably be easier, but ideally I like whenever I can not to have to go to third person. And just do everything in first. But like right now, I have a feeling I'm tilted either way up or way down. What do we think? Way down. No, I was tilted way up. Okay. So he's holding that. So what that means is we can break the tube. Do it. I think. I'm not really giving this much thought. I'm just acting. Pretty sure we can do this. So everything's a station now anyway, right? So even if I broke this, it's not going to go anywhere. The only reason I merged it, really, is because I want to move it. And if I'm clamped onto it, now I can turn it into a ship and move it. So I think we wanted it to go down like 10 blocks. Hey. Grinders off, please. Alright, so let's go here. So we got converted to a station, I imagine, when we docked. Oh yeah, there's new stuff. There's GPS. New from current position. Where are we? We are right here. Show on HUD. Interesting. Have to look into all that stuff. Play around with that. So what did that do? Did it show something? Oh yeah, it did. It shows where I am. Let's play with it right now. Comms, GPS. New from clipboard. Ah, or new from what? Oh, you could just make one. So if we wanted to make a heading, we could. If we wanted to move 100 meters in one direction, we could just copy this. Copy to clipboard. New from clipboard. How do I delete? Copy. New from clipboard. It's not really making... It's not really doing a new one for clipboard. That's a misunderstanding. Anyway. It's got potential. Alright. So info, convert to ship. Sucks that we lose our name every time. We're no longer Tugger. So I want to go down, yeah, what'd I say, about 10? So what we could do, let's see here, we're 80 meters away from the antenna right now. I'm just looking above. It's pretty much directly above us. Each block is 2.5 meters, so we want to go down about 25 meters. So if we went down until we were about 105 meters away from the motionless base, then that should be 10 blocks, right? Doesn't seem very accurate, though. We'll try it. See how accurate it is. And we're only moving in one direction, so that should be good. Okay, so that should be close. Let's just, I don't actually want to put tubes back down, so let's just use steel plates for a second here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. That's all these ores. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so now we merge it back. Whoop. Bam. This is all temporary. Doesn't matter. Mix it up with heavy armor. So if we just did that and connected, I didn't really have an exact need for a length, so that should be pretty good. Good. And we'll just weld and connect and good to go. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to turn off that merge block that we're currently welding. Aha! off. And I will call it shaft attach reattachment device. Supposed to be like that? Question mark? Okay. Good. Good. So now, I guess I'm pretty good to go. Oh yeah, I can't remote into a ship if I'm in a ship without an antenna. Gotcha. Hey look, there's a new heading over there somewhere. Interesting. Did I create that? Does it create it where you're looking? Wasn't there something like that? Creates a waypoint where you're looking? Anyway. Get distracted. Okay, so fly up. Touch it. Touch it. Good. How's that look, Tortring? I'd remote into you, but I can't. Doesn't want me to. Should be good. We just flew down. We just flew up. We don't have any rotors attached to the thing we're flying, so it shouldn't tilt or do anything wonky. So we can simply take our new merge block, shaft reattachment device, toggle on and off, and bam. And then we can disconnect and convert you back to a ship. Call you Tugger once more. And off we go. And you are good to go recharge. I mean, you can really recharge right here. Reactors, 98. So we want to get that to about 120. Where's the sun? Higher, higher. Bam. How's that? 112? 113? 14. Good enough. They're pretty much charged anyway, aren't they? So recharge is on. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. So with that, what I will do now... So we can't really collect ores at the moment because our tube is gone. Goodbye, tubes. I'm going to gut the tube system. And I'll probably get it ready as much as I can. And then maybe we'll spend an episode reworking this gravity thing and figure out the collector. So we'll have to also start looking at moving our assemblers. And we could probably get rid of our makeshift thing here now that we got that one up and running. So I might do that off camera. And yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get rid of all this conveyor and figure out our collector situation and our height. So I got to figure out how high up we want to move this. Do we want to bring it all the way up to this level where this floor is going to be? Or should it be below? I'm kind of toying with the idea of changing the catwalk a bit. So we have this thing that was going to send us up, and it might still, and it sends us upside down. But instead of having the rail there, I was thinking we could just continue upside down, and the railing would just be on the roof, and we could look down. And then that would be this floor, and then somehow we get to this floor again, a top floor, and then we do something different. However we get up here, I'm not sure. Maybe a longer gravity lift of some kind. And yeah. So if we do, should we put the assemblers up at this height somewhere? So they are visible at this level if we were to have, say, a walkway somewhere. So let's see here. Floor. That's the floor. Right? So if we had a walkway of some kind up here coming forward, I don't know if we would, but we could, to the center. And that could meet up with the whole assembly thing. So this is where our assemblers would then go, is up here in reference. Oh, good God, I'll never find them. Assembler, come to me. Right, so then I'd have a stack of assemblers. If we reference those guys, they would be up here somewhere. And then our collector device would be underneath it. So our ores would be going from down there all the way up there. I'm sure they'll make it, and we'll get sent off in all sorts of directions. Good. Okay, well, that ends the yakking portion of the episode. Now on to the ending. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you next time. it created it at 0, 0. That dot, that's 0, 0 right there. If you want to know where 0, 0 was in the world, there you go. It's right there. I figured it out. Not all of it, just there.